Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a otro show aquí en Voces de la Comunidad. Por supuesto, estamos en Latino Mixx. Si usted todavía no nos sigue, pues es el momento para que nos siga. Puede bajar la aplicación Latino Mixx con .x y nos escucha ahí 24/7. También, pues, a través de YouTube. Síganos en YouTube y en todas las plataformas digitales con Voces de la Comunidad. Denle like y síganos aquí en Latino Mixx. Pues bueno, tenemos otro episodio más y hoy para mí es un honor tener al comisionado de la policía, el señor Rodney Harrison, está acá con nosotros. Welcome, bienvenido.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So we have a many questions because you're going to introduce a group that is going to help into the community. Él trajo un grupo que va a ayudar a la comunidad. So talk about the ambassadors.
So, before I talk about the ambassadors, I have to talk about my role as police commissioner. And one of the things that's important for me to be successful and to protect and serve this county, and I've been here for about a year and a half now, is I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on in the streets. I need to know what can I do better. And in order for that to happen, I need to hear from civilians. I don't need to necessarily hear from internally from the men and women that are doing a phenomenal job within the Suffolk County Police Department. But one of the things that I was looking to create, and I kind of took this away during my time frame in NYPD, is how do I empower community members to partner up with me and provide me with direction, information, share ideas in regarding, hey, these are things that we're seeing, these are things that you need to figure out how to address going in the future in your position. And the one thing is we have 7 precincts out here in Suffolk County Police Department. And each community or each precinct has its different neighborhoods, different communities. And we wanted to make sure we had people that are boots to the ground, have their ears to the streets, making sure that they can provide me with information that I need to know, as well as share things that are going on that they may not know about, and make sure that there's not a lot of speculation, and make sure that they get back to their constituents regarding a lot of things that that they may see on the news, on social media, that may not be true, that they can provide a little bit more insight, and it's paying off dividends.
Okay, so I'm going to translation. Tenemos a Jasmine también acá, nuestra querida policía, Jasmine Galán, quien pues ella habla español perfecto y es la representante de la comunidad latina. Un poco, ¿puedes contarnos de lo que dijo el comisionado?
Sí, el comisionado siente que es muy importante tener la información con la comunidad, poder oír las voces de ellos y también nosotros escuchar lo que ellos están diciendo, más ellos escuchar lo que nosotros estamos haciendo. Él escogió a gente muy envuelta en su comunidad para ayudarnos, para presentar toda la información que la policía tenga. Él escogió a esta gente específicamente para tener la línea directa a él, para comunicarse con él.
Entonces se creó este grupo de ambassadors. Sí. Could you explain a little more about what is that, the ambassador? What is the role of this particular group?
Yeah. So we identified 4 to 5 ambassadors in each one of our precincts. They're civilians. We did a background check on them to make sure that they don't have any concerns that may embarrass us in law enforcement. And it is what it is. Just listen to the name, ambassadors. They're the people that are leading the way regarding community relations with law enforcement. And it's really something that is beneficial because each individual is a stakeholder in their community. They're either in charge of a civic group, they're a community leader, they're clergy, and they have what I call people that they can connect with and get the message out that this is the commissioner's concerns, this is what he's looking to do. Quite often I'm invited to their local group events and make sure that I talk about things that they need to hear, but yet at the same time take on their questions, their concerns. And unfortunately, as safe as Suffolk County is, there's still a lot of concerns that different communities have regarding quality of life, maybe some crime concerns, and things that in my position I can fix. And our ambassadors bring those concerns to my attention. I take that information and challenge my commanding officers to address it, and vice versa. Once again, as we go back and forth regarding things that they need to hear and provide that information to the people that they talk with on a daily basis.
Ok, so lo que está diciendo el comisionado específicamente que este grupo de personas que son líderes de sus comunidades específicamente va a ser como que el vehículo para estar en contacto con la comunidad directamente.
Exactamente. Son personas que ya tienen su grupo en la comunidad, están bien envueltos en su comunidad y la gente confía en ellos para que ellos le traigan la información de nosotros y ellos nos traigan a nosotros la información de ellos. Son la línea directa a los policías.
Ok, perfecto. O sea que este grupo es super nice, o por eso se llama Ambassadors. So we're going to introduce, we have two of that group here and the Voces de la Comunidad. So I would like to introduce Mr. Ken Patrick. So tell us about you and your community.
Yes, thank you for, I'm grateful to be here today to talk about this program representing the police department. I'm from Huntington, which to me is one of the best towns in Suffolk County. Very active in the community, and I have a passion for law enforcement because of what my dad did professionally and what my aunt currently does do now. So in the community of Huntington, there's always an active group that's involved, with everything going on, especially when it comes to public safety.
Okay.
So that's why I feel blessed to be a part of this program, so I can bring actual real-time information and access from the police commissioner down to the local community. Issues from traffic enforcement to quality of life issues.
Okay.
Is when the local precinct has community meetings every month. These are some of the issues that constantly come up. So as a police ambassador, as an ambassador for the police commissioner, I should say, I can take what I hear on the ground and bring it directly to Commissioner Harrison, and the problem gets solved. This program is active in the city, so the fact that it came out here, and Suffolk County never had a program like this, I think it's a benefit and it's an asset because
definitely.
There's no more narratives that can be strewn about. You can find out exactly what's going on and we can nip it in the bud right away. So I'm grateful that the commissioner and his team brought about this program.
So that's awesome. So I would like to know exactly how the people reach you. So I have problem right now. So how I contact you?
So I'll give you my number. I'll give anybody. I give my cell number to anyone to contact me. Like I say, whether it's 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Always is turning up.
It's always on, and you can always contact me if you don't feel comfortable going into the local precinct.
Okay, I call you.
Yeah, they can call me, and I can relay the information. Or if it involves another one of my colleague ambassadors from the 2nd precinct, if they live in the area, if they have some type of direct interest, I'll let my colleague ambassador know because we work as a team.
Oh, like a team. That's my another question is if I live in another town, it's not Huntington, in Brentwood, Central Isley, so I can contact you also.
Absolutely, and then I can let that ambassador from that particular precinct or that in that township know what's going on.
Sí, cada precinto tiene su grupo de 5 o 6 personas que trabajan con ese precinto, pero todos se conocen.
Ellos
se reúnen juntos, todos los precintos se reúnen juntos para hablar sobre los problemas que se necesitan. Si tú lo conoces a él y tú dices, yo sí, pero yo vivo en el 5º, vivo en el 4º precinto, él te dice, estas son las personas que usted tiene que contactar para hablar con ellos.
So, y justo lo que estaba diciendo él es que siempre el teléfono está prendido.
Presente.
Está prendido y es su número directo.
Directamente.
So no, it's not like a hotline, something like that. It's the private number.
Gente va a coger el teléfono.
De él. Qué nice.
Absolutely.
Súper. O sea, me encanta esa idea, me encanta de esa cercanía que tienen con la comunidad.
Es importante porque a veces la gente como que tiene miedo de hablar con los policías directamente o no confían tanto como confían en la persona de la comunidad.
Correcto.
So pueden hablar con él directamente y él le dice la verdad como es.
Okay. Perfecto. So thank you, Ken, for all the information. But we have another person.
Can I just say also one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
This program, and before we get to my colleague, this program, one of the goals of the ambassadors for the police commissioner is to bridge that gap and to make people know that this is your police department. This is your police commissioner. This is your local precinct commander. We want to break down the stigma that, the police, it's like a them versus us. We want to break that and realize that we're all one team combating crime and whatever issues are affecting public safety.
Okay, that's so nice lo que él acaba de decir, que esta es su comunidad, que no tenga miedo, que se acerque. Pero vamos a conocer a la segunda ambassador, pero antes de eso vamos a una pausa y ya venimos. Esto es Voces de la Comunidad.
The Visita nuestra página web latinomix.com.
Por favor, marque el código y la palabra
con 2X.
Así es, señores. Nosotros estamos aquí en Voces de la Comunidad por Latino Mixx. Recuerde que estamos todos los martes a las 9 de la mañana en vivo y va a salir el video en YouTube a las 6 de la tarde. So, todos los martes tenemos un episodio nuevo para que usted esté enterado de todos los personajes que pasan en nuestra comunidad. Y pues si usted se está enganchando recién, tenemos al grupo con el comisionado, el grupo de los ambassadors de la policía aquí en Suffolk County. Y pues vamos a conocer a la siguiente invitada que está dentro de este grupo. Está con nosotros Lamia from Huntington, ambassador, right?
Yes. Hello. How are you?
Yes. How you feel with helping with the community?
Well, I'm privileged. I'm honored. I'm very happy. It's a great program. And me, myself, I'm a woman. I'm Muslim. I wear hijab. So I feel like I am the connection between the police department, the commissioners, and my community. Because especially in my community, there's a lot of people are afraid to come up and to speak and to share their concern and their problems because they feel like nobody's going to pay attention to what they're saying. Through the program, they could reach out to me. I take all of these issues and I go back to the commissioner and we could discuss and we could address it. We could take care of it. Also, what's so lovely about that program, because a lot of people from the minority communities, they say, how come we don't have police officers from our own community? This is actually not the ambassador. This is not, the commissioner or the agency problem. It is our own problem as a community because the agency has tasks. They always open up. They always recruit people. They always go to all of the communities asking them to go and take the task and join the team. So the job, also our job is to let the community know there's a test coming up. Go ahead, study for the test, apply for the job. Mm-hmm. So we could have our own people as police officers in our own community. Because when you have a Muslim police officers or a Latino police officer, they could understand the issues in the community and they could handle it a little bit better.
Okay.
And people within the community, they will feel much safer because I have someone from my own community understand what we're going through and they can help and they can just show us through the right direction. Also, we could share a lot of, the commissioner is really very active in all of the communities. You just see him everywhere.
Okay.
You see him in all of the events. You see him with everybody. He has a wonderful heart. Mm-hmm. He really loves the community and he loves what he does. So he always go to explain what events are going on, what we could do together to build a more safer and a stronger community.
Qué bueno. Thank you so much for all the information. Jasmine, un poquito sobre su rol. Ella estaba diciendo que la comunidad musulmana de donde ella es, también están, y en su idioma supongo, ¿no? Ayudan a su comunidad. O sea que no estamos hablando solo de latinos.
No, estamos hablando de todas las culturas diferentes. Y uno con su cultura le gustaría sentirse cómodo con alguien de su cultura. Y los hispanos somos así, ¿verdad? Uno se siente más cómodo hablando a veces con hispanos. So, a veces, si no hay policías que se ven o hablan como ellos, uno quizá no se siente tan cómodo. Pero teniendo a alguien en la comunidad que se ve como ellos, que tiene la religión de ellos, que habla como ellos, se siente uno más cómodo. Más cómodo y tener confianza con ellos.
Okay, so that's nice. So everything that you guys doing. So Commissioner, could you talk about what type of case I need to reach the ambassadors?
And before I answer that question, I have to touch upon something that Ken said. Law enforcement is not easy, and there's a gap in police officers and communities that we're here to protect and serve. I will say this: Suffolk is a lot better than where I came from, which was in New York City, but there still are concerns of trust factors with law enforcement. And having this ambassador program, I strongly believe, has helped out build that trust, strengthen those relationships. And you have to think about this. In order for us as a law enforcement agency, we can't do this in a vacuum. We have to make sure we're working with our communities. We have to make sure we're building that trust. And in order for us to build that trust, you have to have the right people in place that are sharing the message from the top and making sure that they provide me with the information so I could go forward and address it. And those something simple like that.
Okay.
Somebody making a complaint and then addressing it right away. Somebody having a concern about people speeding or loud noise or whatever the case may be. People just want to live in harmony. People want to raise their family. And me being in the position that I am now, that's my dedication.
Okay.
I'm dedicated to the residents of this county. Every single community, each community, like I stated earlier, is different.
Yes.
But I need to make sure I have the right people in place that are going to provide me with the information. And it also helps build that trust in order for us as a whole, make this the safest county in the state.
Okay, so that's nice that everything that you talking about, so about the law enforcement and everything involved. So when they have a different cases, how they reach you, how they, I received you receive the phone calls. I mean, the emergency or any type of issues. How do you guys do in connection?
Great question. So a couple things. Number one is we have probably like bi-weekly meetings where we do Zoom meetings, and I ask, hey, listen, at 5, actually we're having a Zoom meeting today at 5 o'clock regarding the incident that happened in North Amityville. There was a shooting incident yesterday. So I want to make sure I bring that awareness to their attention, and just in case if anybody has any questions from the community, religious leaders, hey, what happened over there? Hey, we spoke to Harrison. This is exactly what happened. So make sure there's no speculation or anything that's being misconstrued with that incident. That's the first thing. Number two is this: everybody has access to me through my cell phone.
Oh, really?
And I tell them all the time, listen, call me 3 o'clock in the morning, call me 8 o'clock in the morning, call me midnight, whatever time it may be. I am dedicated, and I make sure that I pick up my phone. If I don't pick it up, like if it rings now, I tell everybody to text me, and I'll call them back as soon as I'm done with any event that I have going on. But in order for this to work, we have to have a working relationship of being able to have dialogue at any time. It can't be once a month. It can't be, hey, every time we go on a Zoom meeting. I tell them, I want to hear from you right away. And I want to figure out how to address it. And that's one of the benefits of having this ambassador, which is it's real-time information. And my ambassadors are very much plugged in. They know how I work. They know that I want to hear from them as quickly as possible. I don't want to hear about an incident today, a month from now. I know, because I want to make sure that we get down to the bottom of it and figure out how we're going to fix it. So it's been a blessing. Once again, this is something that we had in New York City, and we called it the sector presidents out in New York City. We're doing it out here, and I've seen nothing but positives all around from the word in the street is this is going in the right direction.
Okay, so para la gente que nos está escuchando en este momento y nos está viendo, el señor comisionado tiene el número abierto todo el tiempo. Los ambassadors se comunican con él 24/7, ¿verdad? Es lo que acaba de decir.
Sí, 24/7. Él está disponible. Él se siente muy importante poder arreglar y resolver el problema inmediatamente. No esperar tiempo, pero inmediato que ellos saben el problema, se lo traen a él y él trata de buscar la solución inmediatamente.
Y queremos también aclarar, we need to make sure that the people know that they're not police.
No son policías, son ciudadanos como uno.
Y no usan armas.
No usan armas. Y también quiero clarificar algo. Si hay una emergencia, tienen que llamar al 911. Primero, más importante, una emergencia inmediatamente, el 911. Primero. Ellos son más para si hay una pregunta, hay una situación de tráfico en la comunidad que no le gusta.
O un follow-up de case también.
Hay algo un problema que quieren que resolver en la comunidad, entonces se utilizan para eso. Pero una emergencia siempre va a ser el 911.
Okay, so that's Jasmine telling us that if you have emergency, you need to call 911 first, and then we're going to follow up with ambassadors. Yeah. So that is so nice. So now we're going to have a break. So vamos a una pausa y regresamos con más aquí con el comisionado y los ambassadors.
Visita nuestra página web latinomix.com.
Por favor, marque el código y la palabra
con 2X.
Bueno, y nosotros continuamos aquí en Voces de la Comunidad. ¿Nos sigues? ¿No nos sigues? Es ahora para que nos sigas en nuestras redes sociales y también en nuestras plataformas digitales de Latino Mixx. Señores, y nosotros continuamos. Hoy tenemos a los ambassadors aquí de la policía de Suffolk County. Está con nosotros el comisionado aquí con nosotros, Rodney. Muchísimas gracias por estar acá. Thank you so much. So, vamos a, en este momento, hacer algo diferente, Jasmine. Vamos a explicar específicamente el programa proceso de la función que lleva los ambassadors y cómo hace la comunicación entre las personas con los ambassadors y los ambassadors con el comisionado. So we're gonna do right now like a sample, we're gonna do like a process. So the people that is listening and watching us gonna be exactly what you guys doing. So for example, can I call you right now, right away, and say, hey, I think that a person have a gun in my neighborhood, so I'm a little afraid. So can you help me with that?
Absolutely, I can help you with that. Do you possibly know a name? Do you think you have a name of the person?
No, I don't have the name. It's just,
Or a description?
I heard. Yes, I have the description. It's a person, is Latino.
Okay.
I don't know, is something around my neighbor, but I heard for different people around me that he has a gun and a little friend because I have kids.
Okay. No, I understand that you're concerned. Has there been any activity? Has been an incident in your area? Or you're just telling me because you want to alert me that there's a gang member?
Yes, it's around my neighbor.
There's a learn you, but okay. So thank you for this information. I'm going to bring that back to the commissioner's office, and I will be in touch with you. You have my number, correct?
Yes, I have your number.
All right. So as soon as I get some information, I will call you back and keep you posted on this because we'll make sure we'll take care of that issue for you.
So you're gonna return my phone calls?
Absolutely. You
How
can call
long?
me. Give me about 24 to 48 hours. I'll get back to you if not sooner.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then what you doing?
So then when that happens now, I either call Commissioner Harrison or I'll text him. He's a very busy man, so I'll most likely text him.
Okay.
He'll get back to me right away, and then he'll order me on what's going to happen next.
Okay, talk to the commissioner.
Commissioner, how are you?
I'm good, Kay. How you feeling, brother?
Good, not bad, staying busy. So a resident reached out to me with a concern that there's a gang member living in her neighborhood. She's not she didn't give me any information about any specific incidents that are going on, but she is concerned because she has little kids. So I just want to bring this to your attention so we can kind of nip this in the bud right away.
Hey, Ken. What's the location? What does the person look like?
It's in the town of Huntington. The person is a Latino male. I'm not too sure of the age, but it is in Huntington. It's around the Green Lawn area, and so that's the preliminary information I have right now.
All right. Let me reach out to my detective squads and see what they know about any gang activity over there. We'll send our gang unit over there to maybe do some enforcement as well. But just do me a favor. That person that you spoke to,
yes,
just make sure that she is our eyes and ears, because whatever information that she can share with us can help us guide us into maybe getting this individual placed under arrest if he's a problematic person in the neighborhood.
I absolutely will relay that information to her, and if she gives me any updates, I will text you right away, boss.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Nice. Señores, ¿sí vieron cómo es el proceso? The conversation and the communication with ambassador, with the commissioner. So it's good, it's fluid. So I have a question in the middle of when I listen you guys. So how do you know that it's true that the person is...
We don't. But we have to investigate it. So you're giving us information, and the key thing is this. I'll put my investigators, be it somebody from our precinct crime section or somebody from our narcotics unit or one of our other investigative units, and pretty much take a look at that block and see what's going on over there and see if there is gang activity. So once we investigate it, if there's nothing going on, then I'll have us reach out to Ken and say, hey, Ken, they did an investigation. That person's not a gang member. We addressed a couple people over there. They're just hanging out. Or if there is gang, then we'll continue the investigation and see what we could do to potentially hold them accountable.
Okay. So, hicimos, señores, una recreación realmente de cómo es que ellos trabajan. O sea, hicimos la llamada, quién respondió, luego quién hizo algunas preguntas, luego le preguntó el comisionado y pues el comisionado manda a investigar. Yo lo que le hice, la pregunta fue que cómo él se asegura de que sea verdad, cómo él se asegura de que no están jugando. Jasmine, él respondió que pues no lo saben y él tiene que ir a investigar como quiera que sea. ¿Han tenido algunos llamadas que son mentiras, que molestan?
Sí, eso pasa mucho, pero nosotros preferimos recibir la llamada, investigarlo y verificar que no es verdad, al revés, que sea verdad.
Okay.
So, siempre cogemos toda la información que cualquiera nos quiera dar y lo investigamos. Para eso estamos, para verificar si es verdad o no.
Okay, so entonces lo más importante es que llamen al 911 y también llamen a su ambassador.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of talk about something that's very important here. See, there may not be a trust factor to call the police department about this.
Okay.
But now having that community person that you can connect with helps us identify, address issues that are not necessarily a problem now, but may turn to a problem down the road. So that's why this whole ambassador program works. This was like a perfect scenario of showing how a community person sees something that doesn't look right. I'm not sure who to call. Hey, I want to stay anonymous. Hey, let me call my ambassador and let me make sure that my ambassadors get it to the top. Then I'll filter down to the right investigative unit. And then once again, we'll stay in contact with the person. And that's a mistake that law enforcement does too often, is we'll get complaints about quality of life, but we don't get back to the person that made the complaint regarding how it's going to be addressed or if it is addressed. So it's important that we continue that conversation through the ambassadors, people that you may trust. You may not be a little reluctant to talk to law enforcement. Talk to the ambassadors. The ambassadors will get it to me, and I'll make sure it gets done, and I'll take a look at Ken and say, hey, listen, how's it look over there?
Yeah.
Hey, is that person still there? Hey, what needs to be done next? And then if it's not done, if it's not fixed, the person still becomes a menace, then we'll go from there regarding how we're going to address it.
So the ambassador can going to go to that place also to investigate for themselves?
I rather them not.
Okay.
Once again, eyes and ears. They're the eyes and ears, and their job is not to go out there and investigate or keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Hey, listen, if they happen to live in Everson, hey, listen, I live in that block. I could take a look at it myself, and so be it. But their job is not to do the enforcement. Their job is not to do the investigation.
No.
Their job is to take the information, get it to myself, and then we'll go from there regarding who am I going to identify to take a closer look at it.
Sorry, I just want to piggyback on that as well, that nothing happens in Suffolk County related to public safety that should miss the commissioner.
Okay.
And that is a mandate, I feel, for the ambassadors, that information is power.
Okay.
Once we get that information to the boss, to the top guy in the department, the problem gets handled, because nothing happens in Suffolk County where the commissioner should miss it if it's related to public safety.
Ok, so lo que estaba diciendo él, Jasmine, si me puedes ayudar con la traducción, es que todo lo que está pasando en Suffolk County, el señor comisionado lo tiene que saber.
Información es poder, ¿no? So, es muy importante que algo que esté pasando con la comunidad que esté afectando la vida de uno, él lo tiene que saber inmediatamente para resolverlo.
Okay. The last question, Mr. Rodney, is about the question that I'm gonna receive from the ambassador. They wanna ask me about my immigration status.
So, I'm just going to throw a scenario out, and maybe I'll let Lamaya give a scenario. But one thing we never do is talk about immigration and your status. But that's a fear. People have that concern. Listen, has there been a situation somewhere else that has where a law enforcement agency might have done it wrong and ask that question? Absolutely. But we don't work with ICE. We don't ask about immigration.
Perfect.
And one thing I want to make sure is people, especially from different communities, need to trust us and understand that's very important to us, because we start asking about those questions, then people will lose trust in this department.
Okay, so ellos nunca preguntan el estatus migratorio de absolutamente nadie, señores, o aquellos que nos están escuchando y viendo. Si usted tiene algún problema, comuníquese con ellos directamente. Él acaba de decir que nunca piden ninguna situación migratoria. Bueno, queremos hablar con Lamia, so we want to talk with Lamia. So, what is any cases that you have in your community?
Okay, so our community, el mismo Latina comunidad, el mismo African American, tiene on problemas.
Okay.
Pero on problemas security and safety. Okay. So Latinos salen para la iglesia, para Rosario, y no sé, is it safe, not safe? So el musulmano in Ramadan, we fast as the whole entire month Ramadan.
Okay.
And then tiene una Rosario tarde a la noche.
Okay.
So toda esa gente en la iglesia solo Rosario, no mira las puertas, no mira las ventanas, y un problema mala tiene dentro de la iglesia y otra persona no mira, tiene muy problema. Okay. So el police department, mucho iglesia tenía una carro para el police y el police officer mira todas las personas, también todas bien, también no problema, no tenía arma, no tenía nada. So everybody inside the mosque will feel safe and secure that way, porque tenía una persona afuera, una vez una persona en el carro, otra vez dos personas en el carro, para mera, todas bien, todas no, tenía no problema, no todas no issues in the community. So this is one scenario. We have the police department really securing us while we're praying, because as I mentioned, when we pray, we only focus on praying and our back is to the doors and you do not see what's really going around you. So having a police officer afuera en el carro outside la iglesia give all of these people a kind of a secure. Feeling they could pray. If I may share another incident, el mismo todas otras mujeres Latina muslima, muslimana mujeres, tenía problema porque otra vez usted mira en el supermarket para shopping. Y una persona no lo gusta a usted porque usted latina o no lo gusta a mí porque mi muslimana y tenía una cosa para la cabeza. So esta persona llama a mí, no lo gusta a usted porque usted terrorist o usted latino, necesito salir afuera, está el US, porque usted no americano, necesito salir afuera. So situations like this happen a lot when people from different communities receive some sort of like a hate speech, asking them to leave the country, telling them they do not belong to the country. So in those incidents, está más importante para la comunicación, para el police department, para el commissioner, porque todas las personas aquí in the U.S., we all American citizen and we should be, or not even American citizen, we are like citizens living in the U.S. and we should have our freedom and no one should kind of attack us because of who we are, what we believe in. And this is something the commissioner takes really very seriously because not every speech could be considered as a hate speech. But we always encourage todas la persona tiene problema, necesito communicate your ambassador, communicate the police department, so we could understand what's going on. And in many incidents, an incident might not reach like a hate crime. But if the person keep doing that to Latinos, to African Americans, to Muslims, when the police department has information about that person, maybe at some point something could be done. Even in the lowest case scenario, they might end up by going and just talking to that person and tell him, please stop doing what you're doing because what you're not doing is not right.
Correct.
Okay. So, lo que ella acaba de decir, pues que bueno, tiene diferentes escenarios. Jasmine, si me puedes ayudar también acerca de que, pues, en el caso de ella, que representa a la mujer musulmana, donde ellos tienen que orar muchas veces, están seguros, y eso es lo que ellos quieren, estar totalmente seguro de que afuera de la iglesia o afuera donde ellos están orando hay un carro de la policía.
Sí. Lo que el comisionador siempre le gusta hacer es cuando hay días de fiesta para cualquier religión, todas las religiones, porque aceptamos todo, es que se sientan seguros en su día. A veces él manda los carros a verificar, o sea, a dar la vuelta al parking lot, a visitarlo, a dar saludos, para que se sientan que saben, no estamos velando, estamos aquí para ustedes, no se tienen que preocupar.
Ya, especialmente la comunidad latina, que nosotros también tenemos nuestro Semana Santa, ¿no? Hasta the Holy Week for the community, for Hispanic community. I always see outside the church, the Suffolk County police. So that's good. So eso es lo que le estábamos diciendo de los hispanos también. Pero nada, so thank you so much. I didn't know that you speak very well Spanish.
I speak broken Spanish.
So you speak Spanish like I speak English. So I love it. So thank you so much, Guy, for being here. Gracias, Jasmine, por estar acá, por estar con la comunidad latina. Mr. Ronnie, thank you so much again. So good luck with this group and people. So any you want to tell to the community specific para terminar?
So
for finishing?
Yeah, so the most important thing is people need to understand that I'm very passionate about building that trust. In order for us to be successful, we got to work together. This is just one of the many initiatives that I have put in place. within this department. We also created a youth ambassador program, but that's coming up next.
Okay.
Yasmin's going to be our Latino liaison officer now.
Yeah.
She's going to be reaching out to
Congratulations, Jasmine.
Hispanic communities. So
Yeah.
So I have a lot of things that I'm doing to make sure that people understand that trust is very important, and I'm going to continue to build on it as long as you're a commissioner.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I be the ambassador too?
We'll take a look at it.
I don't think so. Okay, thank you so much. Gracias a Voces de la Comunidad. Este ha sido otro episodio aquí por Latino Mixx.